the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have a fabulous gospel today, but before I talk about it, I want to explain a couple unusual or unique things that are happening in our church right now. First, you may be wondering why all of our statues and our crucifix are covered. Next weekend for Palm Sunday, we read the Passion of the Christ, and one would think it would be nice to reflect on Jesus on the cross for that. But the church recommends covering the statues and images to heighten our sense and build within us a longing for Easter Sunday. So the coverings begin today, and then at the Easter Vigil, they will be removed. Secondly, here at 11 o'clock Mass for the past 2 Sundays, we've read, our readings have come from year A instead of year B. For 3 Sundays each year, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Sundays of Lent, the individuals, we read different readings for the individuals who are entering the church this Easter. They go through a period of preparation called scrutinies. Scrutinies are intended to heal what is sinful and strengthen all that is good. 2 weeks ago at 11 o'clock Mass, we heard about the woman at the well, where Jesus offered himself as living water. Last week we heard about Jesus healing a blind man, where Jesus gives himself as the light of the world. And today, Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead, revealing himself as the resurrection and the life. Our gospel today is the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Now, we know Lazarus, Martha, and Mary are friends of Jesus. You may recall the story of Jesus dining at their home when Martha was being very anxious while her sister Mary listened very attentively to Jesus. In our gospel, we hear that Lazarus is ill, and Martha and Mary send for Jesus. Yet Jesus waits days to respond. In many biblical stories, we hear about the haste with which Jesus, Mary, and Joseph move. But here, Jesus moves slowly. I'm sure if we received a call that a friend was near death and wanted us to visit, we would move very quickly out of fear that we would arrive too late. But Jesus does not rush. He says that Lazarus' illness is for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Jesus arrived, and Martha gives Jesus a subtle complaint. If you had been here, my brother would not have died. Others who were there said similar things. He opened the eyes of the blind. Could he not have saved Lazarus? Then we hear that Jesus was perturbed. He asked them to move the stone where Lazarus had been buried, but they hesitated. Lord, he's been dead 4 days, and there will be a stench. He was frustrated at their lack of faith. A lack of faith frustrates Jesus. An abundance of faith pleases Jesus. It is what saves us. Jesus attributed many of his miracles to individuals who had great faith. Jesus did raise Lazarus from the dead, and for many, this proved that he was the Messiah. But for some Jewish leaders, this exacerbated a problem that had to be fixed. They made plans to kill Jesus and talked about killing Lazarus as well, because many Jews and Gentiles now believed that Jesus was the Messiah. Jesus did not respond to Martha and Mary's request immediately because he knew that more souls would be saved by waiting. A body in the tomb that's brought back to life after 4 days could not be explained as anything but a miracle from the Messiah. Now, we're all born with a desire to understand truth and understand why we are here. Many of us were born into the Catholic faith. I am one of them. This can be a great blessing which our parents gave us, but can also be a gift which many take for granted and never fully understand or embrace. Every Friday morning, I get together with our men's group at 6 a.m. in the parish hall. And I'm amazed at the desire of each of these men to be better Christians, better Catholics, better husbands, and better fathers. I'm also amazed at how many of them did not grow up Catholic, but converted to Catholicism and absolutely love being Catholic. Like many here today, they went through RCIA, or the Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults. It's recently been renamed the Order for Christian Initiation for Adults, but it's a way of welcoming them to the church. Individuals who enter the church as adults are often the most knowledgeable and most passionate Catholics we have. As adults, they ask themselves, what do Catholics believe and why do they believe? Are these beliefs truly God's beliefs? I found adults that have received the sacraments are so joyful because they have been called to the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church embraces the fullness of Jesus' teachings. It's the only church founded by Jesus Christ, and Jesus gave the Catholic Church the authority and the great responsibility to maintain his truths, some of which he would not reveal until later in time. Now, there are many great churches in our world that are not Catholic. They strengthen individual relationships with Jesus or with God the Father, but every one of them is missing something important, some very important element that the Catholic Church has. It may be the Eucharist, it may be the sacrament of confession, it may be the love of Mary, Joseph, and the saints, or it may be parts of the Bible that they chose to exclude. I love the Catholic Church, and I believe it provides the truest map through the narrow gate. Jesus lost many followers because his teachings were hard to follow, but he did not water down the truth or make it easy. He stuck to the truth, and many left him. The Catholic Church is the same. The Catholic Church has lost many followers because some of Jesus' teachings are hard to accept. But the truth cannot change, and the Catholic Church cannot change. I'm so grateful to each of the individuals who are entering the church or receiving a sacrament which they have not previously received this Easter Vigil. The church truly rejoices for each and every one of them. I would highly encourage each of you today that has not been baptized, has not received communion, has not been confirmed, or has not had their wedding celebrated in a Catholic church, discern whether you are called to enjoy these sacraments as well. I'd also encourage you to gently ask friends and family who are not Catholic if they've considered becoming Catholic. The number one reason people do not become Catholic is that no one ever asked them to be. Many are excited to say yes when asked. So please, extend an invitation. We would love to work with everyone to grow closer to Christ. So may God bless each of you this Lenten season, and may you all have a very blessed St. Patrick's Day.